because there's 100 kids.
72 dudes on the bench.
Okay, that was my other.
So when they go to war in Korea, they'll be ready.
Yes. I will say, I had the same thought.
They've got 6 teams on the bench.
6 platoons.
Yeah, they are. Stanford, we've got 18 guys. Our depth chart is like, all right, we've got these 3 guys in this position. Long Beach is like,
it's
all
got
right,
2 iron curtains.
which 19 dudes are we rolling out
The
for
coaches
the
for
third
Stanford have to
practice?
play in practice. You don't have enough guys.
Long Beach has so many people on that team.
They've got so many guys. I guarantee you there's plus or minus 4 people that Knipe doesn't know the name of. There's 60 dudes on the bench. Well, we're back. I'm calling this episode 9 3/4 because
That's
because
a good one.
episode 9 was never released, but maybe it will be. Who knows? We, just kind of go with the flow here on TCGC.
I mean,
podcast.
Bob's a huge Harry Potter guy, so he's gonna love the
Bob
9
loves Harry
3/4.
Potter.
Yeah.
Speaking
that's
of Bob,
massive.
we have Bobby
Bobby's our new.
better
in-
replacement.
in the mix. Here, Bobby, let's get your mic back on you over here, just in case you have any thoughts to put in.
We sued for Title IX, so
Yeah,
we had to bring Bobby in.
Must be
We had
properly
equal-
represented here.
Equal representation out here now. Finally.
The reverse lawsuit came into effect on the coaches group
Classic.
chat.
Yeah, I'm going to sue for a reverse Title IX, by the way, for men's volleyball.
It's about time.
I'm actually very excited about today's episode. We did not have a docket when Chad and Bobby arrived today, and it took us a little bit.
Not
Had some
that
dinner,
long.
had some
What time?
drinks, and we came up with a pretty good docket.
2 hours. It took us 2 hours.
Yeah, that's just friends catching up.
Yeah.
But we're bringing it back. The regular season has concluded for men's volleyball, and we are into the postseason. We'll get into the bracket. We got the NCAA tournament, but episode 1, way back when, was us going over predictions. So I think it's in good taste to bring those predictions back up, see how we did, and then make some maybe end of season awards from us. Because forget Volleyball Magazine or whoever else does something. They don't matter.
You wouldn't want
A
any of that.
popularity contest.
Let's start with the Big West because that's how we began
Yep.
episode 1. Our predictions. I chose UC Irvine. Made it to the finals, not the champs. Chad,
Great choice though.
Long Beach State,
That's the easy one,
right?
It
And that's what we said. That's the steady choice.
What did I say?
A lot of returning talent.
You can see notes on the board here. Ariel chose University of Hawaii.
Oh, oof.
In your defense,
Yeah.
I did it
defense.
because everybody else didn't, right?
No.
No.
Well, in your defense, you did it because it was hosted at UH. So you took that, but also like if UH had Spiros, like that's a whole
Yeah.
that's a huge
yeah.
piece of the puzzle for them. And obviously they weren't quite the same after that injury. But yeah.
I will say that I chose UH, but I'm happy about the outcome of all of this.
Yes, yeah.
Not mad.
Yeah, I believe the direct quote from the first episode was that you want UCI,
Oh yeah.
you think it's gonna be Long Beach, but you
But I'm
believe,
gonna choose.
but you're gonna choose
Hawaii?
UH because
Yeah,
it's at home.
yeah,
I
yeah,
believe
sure.
is
Okay.
The rundown. So all three, those are
Great.
the top 3 teams in the Big West. I think we were pretty darn close on
Not
that.
uneducated.
And Chad hit the nail on the head.
We all picked Ohio State for the MIVA.
We all picked Ohio State for the MIVA.
We're really
Yeah.
good at this. We
We
watch
are
a lot
really
of
good.
volleyball.
We are really
We
good at
nailed
this.
that
We're
one.
savants up here.
Nice.
Loyola was kind of the other option, but
Yeah.
and all to go
I
back to
wouldn't
it,
have
Ball
picked-
State was the
Oh, yeah.
MIVA regular season champ. Ball State was there.
Well, they had some injuries, right? Patrick Rogers,
Yeah, the outside.
the
too.
outside. So
Yeah,
I think he
he's
tried.
good.
I think he tried to play in the tournament or late in the tournament
when
here.
they lost to Lindenwood.
Yeah, and I think he's coming off an ankle, and so
Yeah.
he wasn't quite
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, I mean, from what I hear, I haven't watched a ton of Ohio State lately, but I hear good things. I hear they're trending up at the right time. So
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Birch has
Sounds
them
about right.
going, in a good direction.
Sounds about right. And then into the EIVA, Penn State.
Dang
Myself and Ariel. Chad went out on the ledge, picked George Mason, but hey, that was
Hey, they had a good hot start for a second,
Hasek,
right?
look, man, they were in the finals. Now,
Yeah.
to be fair, they were playing at Penn State,
Yep.
and clearly, George Mason. What are you looking for over there?
Can't see.
Oh, okay, got it. Got it. Look, yeah, Mason. I mean, great season. But But yeah, I mean, Penn State just a little bit more complete, and
Experienced too, right?
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, this
Put
is
my money on Pav.
there's still there's a lot of returners from last year's team, and it's a good squad. So, but honestly, like great for George Mason to be in the conversation.
Sure.
So
Let's go to freshman of the year next here. Ariel, who did you
Winner.
choose?
Tread.
Tread Rosenthal, University of Hawaii.
And he did get it?
He got it for the Big West. Did they do like a national? They got
They
to
do a
freshman
national
of the year.
They
newcomer of
must.
the year or
Yeah.
player of the year.
women's volleyball, they definitely do I think it's a
Fresh?
newcomer of the year
Ah.
is technically the term.
Yeah, red
Um,
shirts or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
They should have a red shirt of the year. Like if you red shirt, you go into a separate category on everything.
Yeah, freshman plus. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
It's like
not,
ESPN Plus.
but it's just not the same, right? Because you have some of these kids who are coming from, hey, look, I took my 2-year service mission or
Yeah.
military service or whatever, and they're a 21-year-old freshman.
Do you know anybody of military
I'm
service?
rounding up, but we were having this conversation earlier of just, hey, look, I had to go serve my 2 years in Korea, and now I'm back to play
I
men's
gotta think
volleyball
the
or something.
only-
I
Do
don't
we
know.
still have a conflict in Korea?
I do think that
I
the
don't
only
know.
military kids have got to be the Israeli kids that play here. And
No,
that's right.
that's what I'm saying.
We had a
Yeah.
Bay to Bay
Sure.
kid, Anthony Clowers, went to the Air Force. He
Sure.
technically speaking,
No, but I mean,
could still. I feel like he still could play.
the Israeli guys. I mean, like Korea, right? I think you have to serve 2 years.
Yep.
And all that.
Oh,
I'm not saying like Americans fighting in Korea.
Gotcha.
What?
Yes, yeah.
I was like, what
Mandatory service.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
What
yeah.
American kids went to the
I was
military
like, the
and then
Korean
played
War was
volleyball?
a long time ago.
I think
Chad.
it-
Get your facts straight.
I think it's much more likely, right, that they are doing some kind of religious mission or something like that. But you get kids who are just like, hey, you're not 17 or 18, you're now 19 or 20. And when you think freshman of the year, you kind of think, hey, it's their first year out of high school kind
Right.
of thing.
Which is why I also think that none of these kids that were nominated for a freshman of the year are allowed to be on the Fab 50 of this past year's
at the
class.
same time.
Yeah, you can't be on both.
Feels like 2 of those 3 definitely are.
Right.
Freshman of the year?
Yep, freshman of the year.
Oh man, I had Wes Smith with SC. I think had he been healthy, I stand by that pick.
Totally.
I think they would also be playing a little bit better. So Blanchette also definitely in the mix
Yep.
if SC is playing a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then Tread, yeah, I mean, probably the biggest name team, biggest name player, most important player on an important team. And yeah, without Spiros, obviously that hurts their chances. But I mean,
Yeah.
he may not be the world's greatest like setter on the second touch, but man, that guy serves well, he blocks well, he defends well. Like all of these other things, he attacks well. I mean, and they can teach him how to set a little bit better. Like
Yeah.
that guy's going to be really, really strong
I
because
think
he's already
give him a
great at
couple
everything.
years,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Great starting point for a freshman setter, no doubt.
for sure.
I went with Blanchette. So 2 USC guys. Chad went with Wes Smith. I went with Blanchette. Yeah, I thought he had a pretty solid freshman campaign. I did
Yeah.
not know who was going to take the starting spot for them. And he ended up taking it and played 90% of their matches.
Struggled by the end a little bit. I thought struggled by the end a little
Yeah,
bit.
he
but-
was not as dominant as a tread was. But just different player, different size, different players around him as well. But definitely played a big factor for USC in terms of what they were able to do this year. So freshman of the year or newcomer of the year is what MPSF does. Ethan Watson was the NorCal boy. Shout out to St. Francis Lancers, Pepperdine red shirt freshman, won it for MPSF.
Yeah, and how do we feel about the freshman versus like the newcomer thing? Because we were talking about this with CSUN as well, right? I mean, it's Jalen, right?
Yeah.
Like that guy can score points.
Yep.
But is he really a true freshman?
No, yeah,
kind of thing,
I
right?
like a freshman of the year
So do I.
specifically for the freshmen, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I get it.
You know, another
They're
reason the
redshirted.
women's probably did that was because you had the kids that were coming in so early too. You got kids that were leaving high school or in January.
Well, that was
and-
Blanchette. That was Tread. Yeah,
Yeah.
they both did the same thing.
Yeah.
Next one that we went over was the most improved team, and this was a clean sweep. We all selected.
I think
Stanford.
you skipped player of the year, by the way.
Oh, yes. All right, we'll come back. We'll finish with player of the year then.
Cool.
Most improved. We all picked Stanford. How did we feel about this this selection? Ariel, you want to start here?
No, I don't want to start, but I will. Most improved? Like from, what does that mean? What's that? Give me the.
You said the same exact thing
Really?
in episode 1.
I also have dementia, so this is all new for me.
You talked about that in episode 1.
You basically said, like, is it a team that makes the tournament? And we said, no, it's just the team that has the biggest improvement from where they were in 2023 to where they finished in 2024.
Okay, sure. They're up there. Who else is up there, though? Do you either of you have somebody that
Would be most improved?
at the end of like,
Irvine.
yeah,
But this was another one. Like, Irvine was kind of in that same boat. They were in the conference. They were in the Big West Finals in 2023. They were one match away from getting into the tournament.
and Stanford was
They
close.
returned a ton of people. They actually lost Sonny, who was a huge piece for them. Stanford was the same thing, right? But we didn't lose anyone, except for Justin Louis or Libero, which obviously is a big piece, but not your OH1, right? Like, Irvine lost their OH1 and now is in the tournament. But they were still, I'd say they were a top 5 team last year, but they were the team that was the outside looking in just on the records.
Yeah, I mean, I would buy Irvine just because of the turnover. And, NIF has had to kind of slot guys in a bunch of different roles all season long, and then they've kind of found the piece of the puzzle that's working for them right now. I'd also buy a GCU, right? And I'd also probably buy even like a CSUN.
Yeah, I was gonna say CSUN,
especially if you look at like from the beginning of the year, maybe to the end,
or
right?
even last year to this year.
Yeah,
with what they did, they definitely they had a lot of really big wins. They had some. I mean, they lost to Masters, right? They had some losses that weren't that would be considered, maybe a blemish, but there was a lot of high quality wins for that team.
Grand Canyon over the last 4 years really has been on the steady increase.
Yeah,
I would say. So I think that's more of like a slower incline instead of just last year to this year. I think that they've been waiting for this, and they're at the peak.
I mean, they were in
the
tournament last year.
Yeah. And now it's a fully mature team.
Yes,
I would actually rather go over most disappointing. But we're not going to do that.
I will.
Yeah. But that's a better.
From this
that's the opposite
segment.
of most improved.
Yes,
Would be like the least improved.
Maybe
that's a good.
Maybe
one.
we could go to Player of the Year instead.
Not even least improved. Most
right,
downtrodden.
Let's go Player of the Year predictions. Chad, start us off. What was your Player of the Year prediction at the start of this?
So I had UCLA setter Andrew Rowan. It felt like a layup just because he's a good player on a great team, and he is probably one of the easier jobs of all of the setters in that he has basically first team All-American attackers at every position. And so just as the central guy in that offense, it felt like he would be the one to pick up Player of the Year for this. But yeah, I was wrong. There's a clear and obvious favorite that we'll get to here, I think, in a second.
It's not my pick, but I think that if Rotman wouldn't have gotten hurt midseason, that this might be a little bit different of a conversation.
Yeah,
but
Rotman got a bad shake in the middle of the season for sure.
And yeah, too bad.
Yeah, injury definitely played a factor there.
Matt, who you got?
Mine was Heno. And
Shocker.
I'm feeling pretty good about that selection
you should
currently.
Yeah,
he's been the man throughout the course of this season. I think he's got to be the front runner right now for AVCA Player of the Year. There's a couple other guys that are in that conversation for sure.
I think they win one game and he's it.
Yeah, I mean he's done it all for that team.
They don't even have to win one because they'll announce those awards before.
No, they got to win one.
You think?
Yeah, the banquet's got to be.
Don't they announce those things like Tuesday or Monday or something?
No.
Not for Player of the Year. It's got to be the day after the semis.
Yeah, I think it's after the semis. Well, at least that's what they do for the women's. I don't know.
I think they do the same.
I thought it's like coming like next Tuesday or something, or next Monday. But I could be wrong. But
Chad, I have a stat question for you because
hit me.
I think you've seen this. Has Heno's serve been less effective this year than last year?
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely seems like there's something a little bit different there. Maybe it's just a load that he has taken on offensively
bad,
for this
though.
team.
He is scoring and blocking. He's attacking and blocking better than last year, but he's serving and I think receiving worse than last year.
Interesting.
Which, I mean, he was hands down. It wasn't even close. He
Best
was
server.
the best server.
Yeah.
It was not even a conversation. And now he's still in the upper echelon, but he's not the number one guy.
He's the number one attacking though.
He's one of the top attackers. Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
For a sidebar, just because I'm interested, can you give me the top servers? Who's been the top server?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know. Okay.
I can look, but we'll have to cut this
Can you,
part.
can you give me a Volleydork post on that
Maybe next
this
week.
upcoming week? Yeah. Right on. All right, that was the predictions.
Since Player of the Year isn't going to come out soon enough, we're going to give our own awards.
Yeah, I think it's time. Time for the first annual Coaches Group Chat Awards. And man, oh man, we're not holding back. We've got literally every position covered here.
Are you? More awards, more people watching. So
Start with people who don't play.
Yeah.
starting with all the volumetrics filmed I've watched of the bench all year, because that's all that I will watch. Seventh man of the year.
This is like the Ariel Houlihan Award right here. This is
Why?
because you're all about the bench.
I love the
and
bench.
and the guys that come off the bench.
I love the bench.
So,
I haven't picked
You
any
also-
of mine yet, though.
in your college career, spent most of your time on the bench, like
Oh,
me. So,
come on. That's some shots fired right there.
Now you're
Love
I
it.
will
twisted.
say, I will
Lovingly.
say I'm getting a ton of comments lately being like, pull up the footage, pull up the film. I'm like, YouTube was not around. Just started.
Thank God.
out,
Just come out.
Thank
so,
God.
just kidding. She started every match.
mhm.
She was a beast. You actually did. You jumped very high pre ACL injury. You
Yeah.
had some hops.
Yeah.
for
Guys.
sure. All right. Well, let's get to it. Seventh man of the year. Should I start or?
Yeah, because we're still thinking of ours.
Great. It's an easy answer. It's obviously Neil Finnegan.
No,
Duh.
but not, you
You
can't.
piece of shit.
Yeah, that's
Neil
not,
Finnegan.
that's not. You can't do
I
that,
stand.
though.
I stand by Neil Finnegan. Okay, number one. I love Neil.
So do I.
He's a
but
Beta
you,
Bay guy.
Yeah,
Obviously,
like, you
there's
can't just
that.
pick Beta Bay kids.
I know. It's not just the fact that he's a Beta Bay guy. Go on CSUN social media. Who's always the guy that's taking over social media for CSUN?
Oh,
It's always Neil.
Okay, social media guy.
Neil is always taking over the Instagram. He is running that account for them. He's cheering on the bench. He's working his ass off. Neil Finnegan,
He's great.
seventh man of the year. You're welcome, Neil. And I pass the mic to you. Who do you guys have?
I mean, this is a little bit.
Biased.
No, it's not biased at all. But it's I don't know, half illegal because he ends up starting at the end of the year. But I'm gonna pick Keone.
County, sure.
And I think like you're looking at someone who's been in that program for a long time, has always been a piece of the puzzle, usually from the service line.
Undersized.
And this guy, like, he must have a chip on his shoulder after
Yeah.
all of these years of like, no, man, you're not big enough. You don't, whatever. And he is coming for
The
UH.
kid's got a bomb of an arm.
And he's been their top outside in the last stretch of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, I only say this because I've been running the numbers for all this stuff, and I'm like, statistically,
He's great.
because Keone serves so well, he receives pretty well, he attacks pretty well. Maybe he's not the most dominant blocker, but like,
Who cares?
he's a really quality outside, and he didn't play until Spiros went down, and he's been doing his job, and he's been crushing it, and
I love that.
that's great for him, man. Like, so that's your job as
That
the
is
seventh
your
man.
as the seventh man, next guy up.
If you don't run the team's social media, you have to side out. There's just not a third option.
If you can't
Sure.
Irish jig,
Or fight somebody.
Okay,
You better-
so there's
you
not
better-
a
you better
fourth
pass the rock.
option.
Yeah, totally.
Jig or die. Yeah.
Great. Let's go to best bench.
best bench. All right, lead us off. Do you have a best bench?
Uh,
I have my pick for this as well.
Best bench has got to be Lewis. When you make ESPN 20 years ago and you make top 10 on ESPN as a bench for men's volleyball, then you get the award for the next until award is given out
Give
for it.
for 2 decades. You
Yeah,
want that,
2
you want
decades
it.
you get it. So Lewis wins. I didn't see a single thing that Lewis did this year, but
Shout out to Ryan Collins. I saw some good stuff from that man as well. Speaking of seventh, he's kind of the seventh man for Lewis. Come and serve, kind of a bench hype guy. I appreciated what he was doing there. I'll go to me. Chad looks like he's still thinking this one over.
I am.
I'm going sheer show of force bench.
Long Beach
State.
Yeah, because there's
with
100 kids.
72 dudes on the bench.
Okay, that was my other.
So when they go to war in Korea, they'll be ready.
Yes. I will say, I had the same thought.
They've got 6 teams on the bench.
6 platoons.
Yeah, they are. Stanford, we've got 18 guys. Our depth chart is like, all right, we've got these 3 guys in this position. Long Beach is like,
It's
all
got
right,
2 iron curtains.
which 19 dudes are we rolling out
The
for
coaches
the
for
third
Stanford have to
practice?
play in practice. You don't have enough guys.
Long Beach has so many people on that team.
They've got so many guys. I guarantee you there's plus or minus 4 people that Knipe doesn't know the name of. There's 60 dudes on the bench.
I got
just
asked.
no
we
way.
went to the Long Beach Santa Barbara game, and I got asked because I was looking at Joe and Ben on Santa Barbara. I'm like, yeah, we got Joe and Ben on Santa Barbara, and then they were like, you don't have anybody on Long Beach. I was like, no. And then like the whole game went by. Afterwards, I see the bench like walking over. I was like, oh, Aiden Powell. Aiden Powell's on that team. But I was like, I didn't see anybody the entire time because there was an army of people on the
I
sideline.
legitimately had the thought, we're sitting there, we're watching the game, Santa Barbara Long Beach in the sandbar. And I was like, give me a pair of black shorts and a beach t-shirt. And I could just go walk onto that bench right now. And no one would say anything. They'd
Knipe
be like,
won't know your name either.
they'd just be like, one of us.
The bench just grows by 1 or 2 people each set when they change sides.
No one would notice.
You just pick up a third straggler
How
when you
many
change
players
ends.
do they
I
have?
could just see McKay Smith making eye contact with me, being like,
How many players
Welcome.
do they have? Bobby?
Producer, what do we got?
79, 30, 31.
Oh my God.
31?
31.
They have 31 people?
31 players.
That's the largest roster I've heard of since UCLA back in the day.
I think
massive.
Knipe can name 25 of them.
yeah, I think plus or minus 4 is good. Let's set it at 3.5.
Sure.
3.5.
Okay, I'm getting on some panel where I get to ask him a question. I'm going to do it. I'm going to shock him.
But also, then again, you look
name
at
your players
you
on your
look
team.
at that, and you're like, all right, Long Beach obviously is investing a ton of money into men's volleyball.
they're
Because
investing the
obvious?
same amount of money into men's volleyball as they are into women's volleyball.
yes.
Yep.
Right, but like most schools, well,
That's
most football
incredible.
most football schools,
For men's.
you're gonna be capped at a head count, right? Like you can't go over a certain number because we
or
need to
or
be
they're
able
going to
to have
mandate the
Title
number,
IX.
or they're going to mandate the number of kids that you have to have on the team because they want admissions for the school.
That's what a lot of schools without football do, right?
Correct.
They're like, yeah, you take a Concordia Irvine who also has a big roster. For them, it's like we add this sport
Cha-ching.
because we make money and we get men into the school. Because
How many
we're
are they
60%
graduating
women.
though? Okay, I will say this has got to be the year of the largest rosters because of
Sure.
the 5th years and the
COVID, yeah.
yeah. So,
Yep. No, that's fair.
but how many did they bring in? How many did they lose? Oh, I remember seeing some of these senior night pictures of like 25 people.
They had 9 also.
Yeah,
just like
9,
Stanford.
sure.
did. Chad, best bench.
Long Beach is a great answer.
Tough act to follow.
Yeah, I don't have a great answer. I did catch a little Damon this year, and it's like
Wow.
the entire coaching staff, like Donnie and his crew, they're up off the chairs.
Yeah.
Everybody's standing.
Mhm.
I mean, it's the NEC, so everybody's kind of like, you know, smaller gyms and everything. It looks like they're having a great time. Everyone's
awesome.
into it. It's rowdy. Give me some Damon.
Great.
Give me some Buffalo, New York.
There
Why
you
not?
go. I like
Okay,
that.
first player of the position
Yes,
of the year.
We're going into the positions.
Middle of the year.
Let's give the middle some love. Ariel, start us off. Who do you got?
I'm going for Wes Smith. He didn't get freshman of the year, so
Some middle of the year.
he gets middle of the year. And he got hurt, and that's not his fault, so he gets middle of the year.
Okay.
I'd rather take Wes Smith than anybody else right now. Merrick doesn't have any more time left.
Oh, you're going from like
He's
going from, like, a
graduating. Cut him.
general manager perspective.
Yeah. From a GM perspective, I'd rather have Wes on my team right now at this point in
At
time.
this juncture.
Trade
Yeah.
him. Merrick's a free agent.
No
Yeah.
offense.
Yeah,
Yeah. No offense to you, Merrick. Thank you for all your service,
Thank you for
but you're
service, but
washed up.
Yeah, you
gotta
don't
go
have
pro.
you don't have time anymore. So like, I want Wes.
Well, I'm not going from the GM perspective, so I will take Merrick McHenry.
Great.
As
I
my
like
middle
Merrick
of the year
too.
because he was extremely efficient offensively. Think the stats will show blocking wise not as
But
not
he already got
as
an award.
effective. Yeah, I know he's the player of the year in the NPSF. But also the big thing I liked about him, his serve. Serve was
Yeah, me too.
really, really good. So middle of the year, he brought a lot from the service line and was in system quite literally untouchable.
Okay, great. Merrick. You get Merrick too.
No, I don't have Merrick.
Oh, sweet.
Merrick's actually my second. First is actually Cameron Thorne.
Oh,
yeah, that's a great pick, too.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yep.
352. 352.
I would never. It was a painful summer. Yeah, no, I mean, Thorne has just been so offensively sound, and then he's a sneaky quick blocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's twitchy and he's fast off the ground when it's out of system, and he's a big guy. But man, his ability to like just make moves laterally, even when he's super super late, and like just good shape on the hands. Like he gets a lot of touches, and just creates a lot of value as a blocker.
Yeah.
Not a massive server or anything for them. Obviously, I mean, you'd probably take Merrick's serve.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for things that you want a middle blocker to do, man, attack and block and a little serve. Cameron Thorne was my guy.
I like that pick. Yeah, I thought he was very good at the end of it.
Fuck.
Damn it, Matt.
That was also going to be my pick in my brain.
Cameron Thorne.
You're out of memory.
That's a great pick.
20% battery left on the camera. We're good. We're fine.
Just plug it in.
No.
Plug it in.
No, we're fine. 20%. Keep going.
Oh, I thought you said 2%. I was like,
20%.
no, you have to plug it in right now.
Or just plug it in before we do all this stuff. That's fine.
Yeah, I stand by Wes.
Fair enough.
Fair. GM pick. All right. Outside of the year, Chad, let's start with you. I feel like you have numbers on this, so you can give a good benchmark.
Yeah, the interesting thing for me is kind of how you think about it. Like, if you're looking for somebody to fit into a system, right, of, hey, I already have the best player at every other position. I need just the steadiest outside.
Yep.
Right? You would take, I still don't know how to say his name.
Chopin.
Chopanis?
Yeah.
How do we say it?
Yeah.
Chopanis? You don't know.
No.
Okay, I heard they announced to say Chopanis, and it sounds fancier, so I'm going to do that. But you take him or you take, like, Champlin, right? They're just
Steady.
serve, receive, attack, block, defend. They do everything really, really well. But if you want the MVP outside, you take Heno. It's not even close. So I think if you're just saying who plays the position the best this year, Chopanis.
All right. I like that. Ariel.
I'm only giving awards to people that you don't think are going to get awards.
Shocker.
Great. Let's hear it. Let's hear the hot take. Or do you need a second to think your hot
If
take?
you pick a name from a team we don't know,
I will go next.
I'm going to hit you with a spike.
I am taking Heno
Fair.
because I already selected Heno as my player of the year months ago, and I think he has performed at that level. I love the way he plays. I think it's super creative. It's my coaching style, so I have a soft spot of like he's playing the game that I want the game to be played, and he brings just some French stability, and I love that.
If you don't think Heno is the MVP of men's volleyball this year, you're not
You're
watching.
dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, he's easily.
Uh,
Watch out for dogs.
He's
I
been
cracked
through
my
enough.
ankle
He's been
right
through
next to
enough.
his ear. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm going to pick Champlin. Reason being, what?
Because he came and hung out with us and has a great mustache.
Yeah, well, he's very nice, but like also, to be like the yank around of like, are you gonna libero? Are you going? I think the reaction is like good, and like has played steady, and he's against some guys that on paper, like to me, look like world class freak athlete outsides, and
Like
like
Robinson,
Rama.
Rama.
like, yeah,
Robinson,
like
yeah.
you like major physical body guys, and then to be able to be that steady in that gym all the time and to be able to prove yourself on the court, I think that there's something probably intangible that is like the reason.
He's one of those guys where it's just like pound for pound, he may be one of the best volleyball players.
100%.
Like we've seen in a long time.
Totally. So that's why I'm going to go Champlin.
Huge fan. Big mustache guy.
I like it. Setter of the year.
I'm for Rowan for the national team setter right now. I think he should be in Paris and setting the national team.
You think he's better than Micah Christensen?
I think I want him over Micah.
Oh boy.
Why?
Yeah, I think let him. fail.
She's wrong.
That's
say-
gonna be inaccurate.
I say let him fail now so that he can win us like 7 golds in a row. Like,
7 golds in a row.
Give him experience now so that he can just like go.
All right. She's looking for clickbait here, guys. Don't buy into this. Don't buy into this.
I think he's great.
Micah is so much better.
Micah's
right now.
great. I know,
Rowan,
but like
Rowan's gonna be great. He's gonna be great. I think he's gonna be in the national team gym for sure, no doubt about it. But
Micah's great. I got it.
Not in
but,
the squad.
not the squad. Yeah.
Come on, guys.
All right. Rowan for Ariel's setter of the year. Fair enough. Chadwick Bozeman
Are you
Gordon.
gonna pick anybody but Rowan? Actually,
Yes.
for not clickbait, really?
Yeah.
You think somebody deserves it over Rowan?
You'll see soon enough.
He's got the easiest job. You
Yeah.
could set unhittable balls to these guys. They're so good. He's setting
How
2
about
balls
this?
to his
How
middle.
about this? Are we talking who's the setter of the year? Who was the best setter?
I don't know. I'm in your house. You pick the question. Like,
Okay,
What do you want?
so I'm gonna take my setter for me is going to be placed on any team, and Andrew Rowan makes every other team in the country better.
no.
Who?
I have a statistical answer,
Okay,
Yes, please go.
I don't.
and that's but I
Ariel's
don't.
all about the feeling. She's in her
And-
feels.
No, and this is the thing. I
What's the
think
vibe?
like with some of these things, right? I mean, like the numbers are one thing, but like that's really the question, right? Is like if you had the best players at every position, who would be the best setter for that, right?
Andrew Rowan, because the best players at every position is on UCLA.
But why couldn't I mean I could set for UCLA and we'd still probably do pretty well. Like,
I
I'm
agree
setting
with that, but
2 balls.
that's the issue with that is this is men's volleyball. Men's volleyball, the setter is probably the least important. You like teams like BYU, however long ago, they had setter that was absolutely garbage, and like literally throw a ball up there, and if you have the best attackers, you're gonna win.
Sure.
Like the game has evolved a little bit more than that,
Yeah. Well, Aiden Knipe standing on the ground just setting balls
Real.
to people, right?
but real.
Just like I
So
don't need
who's
to
your
jump.
setter?
Statistically, it's Loyola's Dan Mangun. You
Give me
haven't
the
watched this guy? You don't know anything about this guy?
I do,
The lefty,
but
yeah?
like,
I don't know. I don't
know
know anything
I
about
know
this
that
guy.
he's gotten AVCA Player of the Week like a couple years, and it's I guess statistically, but I just don't get it.
I'm on the statistical train.
So what's his stats? What does his stats show that makes him the best
Assists?
setter?
This would be great if I had like the whole blog post that I should put together over the next couple of days.
Sure.
But I mean, basically, like you split out all of the things that like setters do. Okay, look, 2/3 of their contacts are setting. Then there's blocking, attacking, serving. Like
Okay.
2% defense. For me, right? Like Dan came out ahead. Tread's in the top 3. I think Rowan is 3rd. Nick Slight's like 4th or 5th or something like that.
Dang it! I should have picked Slide.
And honestly, I thought
What
you
am I
I
doing?
thought you were gonna pick Slight because if you were gonna drop somebody, if I was gonna drop somebody into a team that they didn't know
It's true.
and find a way to like
You're
ball
right.
and just
You're
win,
right,
I'd
you're right.
probably take
I
Slight
forgot about him. Got it.
because Slight's kind of a gangster and Rowan's not. Like, no offense, like he's a great setter.
I'm telling you, Rowan is very, very good.
Rowan's a really technically talented setter. He was a better server last year. He didn't serve that well this year. He's a crap blocker, and he doesn't
Yeah.
play defense. But he's really good on the second touch.
Slide's the right pick. I get it.
But it depends on what you need for your team. Right? The same thing we were talking about with Tread. Tread doesn't touch the second ball all
Yeah.
that well, but
Tread's not my pick.
but he serves great. He blocks great. He attacks great, and he plays some defense.
But this is setter of the year.
Yeah, but there are other things besides just setting the volleyball,
Yes.
right? And Andrew Rowan sets the volleyball really, really well.
That's why I give him setter of the year.
That's no problem. But you've already admitted you made a mistake by not picking Slight.
No, we have fighter of the year that I just added to the docket.
That's not a thing.
it is.
If you were gonna, all right, if you were gonna take one setter from any of these teams and put them on like your club team right now, who would you pick?
Rafa.
I'd pick no. Rafa's not in college.
Rowan.
Okay,
But like for
I'd
the
take
vibes,
Slight.
for the vibes, Slight for sure.
Picking Slight.
Yeah, I know. I know,
That's
guys.
such
We
I like
know you're
Slight.
taking
I
Slight.
know.
That's such an error.
I have an answer now.
What's your?
do it.
It is not Nick Slight. It is
What?
not Andrew Rowan.
Are you
and it is
excited about
not-
this? Dan.
Dan
Man gum.
Dan
Man
from
Mangum.
State Farm.
It's no Man gun. Come on. He doesn't work at State Farm just because he's from the
And
Midwest.
it's not Dan.
Sorry, Dan. I tried.
My pick.
Are you excited about this?
All right, so here, let me give you the synopsis. It's not statistic. It's not Foley vibes.
This is so mad.
Is it Shuey?
It is Brett Sheward. It is
Because
Brett
of the beard.
Not
It's got-
because of the beard.
What? All right. then.
It's because
I don't understand.
You is essentially the idea that you put in the head of who do you take and you put into a team that makes that team the best possible it can be. Doesn't need to be the best at the position, best at all these different skills, but can do it all together and bring the pieces to make them a more complete unit. In my eyes, that was Sheward this year. I thought the way that he played, undersized, did not matter. I thought he did a decent job blocking. He's great with the second touch. He's great on defense. He's obviously a stoic leader for the team on the court. And yeah, I thought he made Irvine better this year.
Okay, my pick is Slight and Rowan.
I was just thinking in my brain. I was
Since-
you wouldn't pick one, you would take both.
Yeah, I'll definitely take
Yeah, I'll
both.
take Micah
take-
Christensen.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So you guys
Give me
pick
Maroof.
Dan
Yeah, give me Tony
and,
UT, please.
And Shuey. I'm taking Slight and I'm taking the MPSF setters.
All right. Oppo of the year.
Say it at the same time.
Why?
Because it's fun.
3, 2, 1.
Jarrett.
That was mine. That was mine too.
Mine's Parker Van Buren.
Okay. I was going Jarrett too.
Yeah.
Not just because fly eagles fly.
Let
Let me hear your rundown.
I'll admit, 5 seconds of bias. Harker guy. His dad got me into volleyball, so I'm super biased. That being said, the numbers are the numbers, and there's an argument to be made of, hey, he's coming into these matches, he's super fresh.
Yeah.
Teams don't know how to scout against him. I will buy all of those things. But statistically, good server, great attacker, really strong blocker, and he's just been unstoppable. Like the fact that he didn't make the MPSF like alter,
Yeah.
that's crazy. The guy hit like 600. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't make errors.
Yeah.
And he serves aces and he blocks guys. Like
Did you think that coaches put in for that?
I have no idea.
I got to think coaches put in for that for the MPSF tournament. I know for a
don't know.
fact that they do.
It's possible.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Jarrett, you can talk to Worley. I don't know because he won an
No, but,
award.
like, when you
Maybe
get
he
to that-
nominated
but-
himself.
But also when you
Conspiracy.
But when,
Honestly, it worked out for Matt, so
yeah,
it's
but
fine.
that's just like the tournament though.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure, right? And so like I think he's had a great month and a half, right? The same way you could say, hey, look, Spiro should be a first team All-American, but you know, he's not still playing,
Yeah.
right? And Jared didn't play the first half of the year because they were playing with Carter Rogers on the left.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, even compared with Parker, I've got John Kerr second right now from Penn State.
Yep, that was mine. Chad, we were in tune on this one.
I just
Guys,
thought opposites.
swear
and
I
I was
don't-
like, well, MIVA player of the year was an opposite, so I go Parker. That's why.
That's fair too. Yeah, I mean, I swear, like I don't make up these numbers. It's just how things shook out, and
Yeah.
it was Jarrett, then Kerr, then Parker,
Yeah. No,
which passes the eye
I'm
test.
really into
really- I
picking
was
the
really
third place
hoping-
on Chad's as my player of the year.
I was really hoping that you were going to go somewhere else for the shock value of Jarrett, because Jarrett didn't play for the majority of the season, and watching him play
Yeah.
and watching him come in, I was like,
That kid
here he
hits the
goes
ball
again.
Sharper than anybody.
Here he
I
goes
know.
again. This guy,
Yeah.
like he just gets. We just completely. You overlook Jarrett, and he just goes out and
I'm-
quietly
balls.
hits 600 on 20 balls and just
In club, I'm pretty sure we had an entire practice where I was like, literally from the middle of the court, take one step and jump.
yeah. You'll probably be in the 2-2.
Block in the
You
middle of
will
the net.
probably be closer than where you guys are at right now.
I don't know how many times I've told the story of like. So I mean, the story here for the non us is that he played for Harker. I'm coaching that team in high school with Alex Jones and then Josh Stewart, who was a really talented setter, MVP of adult nationals, played at Pepperdine, all this stuff.
Yep.
We're like, all right, our B side at this high school can't stop Jared. What are we gonna do? Josh, go get him. Josh can't touch him. Jonesy, it's like we're throwing Pokeballs. Jones, your turn. I choose you. Go stop this guy. Jones can't touch him. I'm like, guys, I'll handle this. I'm getting torched by this 17-year-old. I'm like, I'm gonna show line, take angle. I'm gonna show angle, take line. I'm gonna show nothing,
Take nothing.
Everything.
we couldn't even touch it. It's sharp when you don't think it's sharp.
Yeah.
It's late line when you don't. I'm so stoked that he's having success, but
Yeah.
it's just an absolute bitch to try and
Yeah.
scheme
Yeah.
against. It's
Not easy.
It's tough.
Oh yeah, we were
So.
coming from someone who was literally trying to scheme against him. We had some good moments, some good opportunities where he slowed it down a little bit, but yeah, it wasn't errors. You know, he wasn't making errors.
If he doesn't like it, setter. He'll literally
Yeah.
just set it.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't need to hit this ball.
Yeah,
No, thank
and
you.
that's what we were hoping for, and we were golden on those. That's what we were looking for. But yeah, no, he's been super effective. His serve got way better. They were bringing him in as a serving sub, and he just really couldn't get it going.
He was
as
mediocre
the sub.
as the sub. Yeah, he was
missed a
poor.
lot. But now that he's in and kind of has the confidence, the serve has been a big factor, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jared, nice job. Shout out NorCal boy, getting it done.
Harker Eagles. We love it.
All right. Lastly, libero of the year for the positions, and then we'll get into our NCAA tournament overview.
I got libero of the year.
Do it.
Start us off.
10 minutes ago. Mason Briggs mentioned you in the comment. Mason Briggs.
I think that's a great pick. What's the stats say, Chad? I feel like we've gone over this where Mason, because he takes so much of the court, it's an interesting thing to have to stat to get a good understanding.
Statistically speaking, he's doing a lot, and there's stuff that you just don't capture, right? So like when they show 4 passers, and then somebody like the toss goes, and then they shift one guy back.
Yep.
And then Mason takes 40%. We don't have a value on that right now, right? And or if like he jumps in front of somebody who may be a weaker passer, we don't know, right? All we know is that he touched the ball and it was either good or it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you get the same thing defensively, but when you compare liberos, at least like you get pretty similar results on the defensive stuff, like just because they're always like trying to scoop, they're running in, trying to get blown up, and so when you look at stuff off of volumetrics, like those all count as negatives, but it's kind of a wash when you look between all the players. But yeah, I've got Mason, and again, he's a great player. I've got him on the second team just statistically because it's statistics and not your eye or your vibes or your feel or anything. But the top libero I have is Ryan Merck from Penn State.
Yep.
He was probably the best receiver last year and a strong defender as well. And it really hasn't changed. I mean, he's one of the best passers out there. He's just really steady.
No
always.
notes to add. I concur. That is my libero of the year as well.
Penn State kid.
Ryan Merck from Penn State.
He didn't comment on my Instagram, so he doesn't get libero of the year from me.
Cut him.
Tell me 2 facts about Fort Valley State.
They're in the SIAC.
There's one. They won the SIAC. There's 2.
Eat shit.
Name 1 person on Fort Valley State. Go.
You won't know if we're right or wrong. Tom Smith.
I'm pretty positive you're wrong.
He's the 31st player.
Check. Check it now.
Alan Knipe also doesn't know his name. That's a good joke.
Only our loyal listeners will understand that joke.
Everybody else has turned this off hours ago.
Let's make our predictions. You guys ready? We know UCLA Long Beach. Okay?
UCLA in 4.
I'm going Irvine over Penn State. Irvine over UCLA
You have
to
to.
the
He's
championship.
chosen every kid on the team as his player of the year.
I'm going Grand Canyon over Ohio State.
You're just choosing what you want.
I'm going Grand Canyon over Long Beach.
That's right.
Long Beach.
Long
You
Beach.
want
We're
a
going Grand Canyon,
Irvine
National
final.
Championship.
Oh, that's a dream.
And I'm taking Irvine in 4.
Okay.
Irvine in 4. That's Matt's prediction.
Okay.
That is what I hope happens. What I think is going to happen.
What I need to
what
happen.
I need to happen. Well, no, not what I need to happen, but what I
Yeah, give me your thinks, your thoughts.
what I think is going to happen is UCLA and Irvine are going to play in the semis on one side, and then Grand Canyon is going to play Long Beach on the other side. Great, awesome. I think that Grand Canyon UCLA is going to be final,
MPSF rematch. And who's your champion?
and my champion is going to be It's gonna be a draw. There's gonna be a shootout. I don't know. We'll see.
No. You don't get off the hook. Let's go. Give me the prediction.
Grand Canyon. I want Grand Canyon to win that, but I think that UCLA should win that. So
Can we get some clear answers from you? My
take it
goodness.
with a grain of salt.
What is this? What is this political roundabouts?
We need less salty answers.
Yeah, give me the answer.
My head says UCLA is gonna win
Okay.
based off of statistics
What statistics?
that
What
they won
statistic? They
last year.
they
They
should
just
win
lost.
But they won last year, and they should win this year because every
Okay.
every
You're going with the
2
2-year-
the
the
2-year the 2-year
runs.
curse is happening.
Buy one, get one free.
Buy one get one free.
Classic.
Okay. All right. Chad, prediction.
UCLA over Fort Valley, Irvine over Penn State, Grand Canyon over Ohio State, Long Beach over Belmont
So
Abbey.
we're all the same on the semis.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most interesting. I don't know. I think Ohio State trending up.
Yep.
Could be interesting, right?
Mhm.
And Grand Canyon maybe is looking a little bit too much towards Thursday. But yeah, I think UCLA over Irvine on the top, and then I'll take Grand Canyon over Long Beach State on the bottom. And yeah, give me that same rematch and give me Grand Canyon in 4.
Grand Canyon for the ship.
Let's do it.
All right, we got Irvine for me.
You guys
Grand Canyon
picked
for Chad.
UCLA at the beginning of the year. You know that, right?
All three of us picked UCLA at the
Yeah.
beginning
Well,
of the year.
I stood by it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stand on business. You do you.
I want something different to happen, but I think that that's going to happen.
All right, that's fair.
I stand by that too.
That's
Great.
fair. Let's get into the real fun part of this now.
Yeah.
If we could add 4 more teams into this tournament.
Reseed too.
No, not a reseed.
We don't have
Who-
enough time.
Who's being added? Who do you guys have?
Damon.
Damon.
Gotta have it.
I love that.
Gotta have it.
I love that. I feel like they could actually pull an upset too.
Now this is dumb. This is a dumb ad, but like I know we can't add the Masters, but can we add Masters?
And
Are they Division
One?
One? No, it's not relevant though.
The number 1 team in NAIA. Can we add them in?
You can't. The reason why the rules for NAIA make this completely unfair. You can play there
Yes.
for 27 years. Pretty much.
Yeah, but if you're just taking the team of
Yeah,
like,
sure.
hey, the quality, yeah.
Nah, let's keep NAIA out of
All
it.
right, okay, fine. We'll play this one straight up.
I'm going to take Hawaii. Hawaii is 1. I like Damon. I think that's a great pick. Right? They won their conference. Let's get them in there
Absolutely.
for the funsies. Biased, yes,
Stanford.
but also reasonable in range. Stanford. I know BYU was ranked ahead of us. We beat BYU. We're 1-1 with them. We finished higher in the tournament than they did. I think we're trending the right direction. I'm going Stanford as the 3rd team in. And for my 4th team in, I am going Ball State. I think Ball State out of the MIVA, regular season champs,
Yeah.
got to the semis, lost that one match. I think they're deserving. I'm going Ball State.
I think at full strength, I'd buy that.
Yes. Yeah.
Where they are today, I
Well,
don't know.
then you think Hawaii should be in?
I think even without Spiros, Hawaii is
Yeah.
a top 12
Yes.
team probably. I'd take Hawaii, BYU, Stanford, Damon. I don't think that Damon is necessarily the 12th best team in the country, but you can look at the bracket and you can tell that we don't have the top 8 teams
Yes.
already. So,
Correct.
but I think Damon won that conference.
Yep.
Put 'em
I
in.
like that. BYU. So BYU over Ball State for you in that one.
In that case, yeah.
Nice.
Can I call with one story about my life?
Yeah.
I talked to Gary V last week.
Yeah.
That's it.
Gary V, friend of
Cheers.
the pod.
Friend
maybe?
of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
Talked to Gary V last week. He knows who I am.
Does
Just
he watch?
want to let everybody
Fun
know.
fact.
Does he
Gary
watch the
V
pod?
Is like my favorite social media follow, and when she sent me a screenshot of Gary V sending her a direct message, I was like, "Let's fucking go."
Yeah, we've made it. Gary writing a children's book, sending a children's book to my children.
Gary, I will read that book to my children at bed, and
Yeah.
I will be Very, very happy.
That's one of the more exciting things that has happened to me. That's all.
Look at her car is just a million empty Aulani energy
That's
drink
not
bottles.
true. It used to be when I had the other car. Now I have a nice car and I try and get rid of my trash.
Yeah. I guarantee you go look at it right now. There's probably 3 of them at least.
No.
2.
I don't think so.
2.5 is the line.
It's true. With the new car, you've been trying to keep it clean.
Just to let everybody know, there's a new Alani drink out that they have the little baby cans now that are 100 milligrams of caffeine, and they taste like cherry slushies. You tried it today.
Yeah, it tastes like you're at the movie theater.
They
And I
are
was
so
like,
good.
this-
0 calories. 15 calories. 15
Are you
calories.
in your Insta DMs yet?
Yeah, they sent me all those for free.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yeah. No, they're all.
I thought-
Sponsored by.
No, those are all free.
I didn't know that.
They're like, we came out with our new cherry slushes here. And then they gave me 2 cases. I didn't even know they did that. And then got home and there was 2 in the fridge.
Yeah.
They're really good though.
It's like every 2 weeks an Aulani package just
I would
lands on the door.
not like if I didn't like it, I would just be like, stop sending me this, but I actually like it. And Celsius. So yeah, we are at war. I had multiple people come up to me this past week and be like, so what's up with you and Celsius? I'm like, I don't know, man. It's bad company. I know.
bad vibes.
The amount of Celsius and smelling salts that has gone through the staff over the year.
Oh man, I never knew how much of a hit smelling salts are. Smelling salts are
Might as well
like
just punch me in the nose.
Literally. And they would do
just
it in front
absolute-
of people. It was like a thing.
it's
like,
not drugs. It's a smelling salt.
Well, you just said I never knew how much of a hit smelling salts.
Yeah, like a literal hit in the face. It's like a punch in the face. You're like, I'm awake. I'm ready. Okay.
all of them stand in a circle and they're like for every game. It's like
We got John to do it once, and then after
got John to do it once. Matt went up into the stands and made all the Stanford parents do it one time,
Sure.
and they
Got
all
all the
the
parents.
moms were like, what is that? Yeah, it was disgusting.
yeah, when a guy in a polo shirt walks up to you and goes, "Smell this," not sketchy at all.
It's like, I think it's great that our club has so many like female coaches like in the club. It's like, yeah, it's good, like it's cool. And he's like, one thing I wish though, I wish we had more female coaches like on the boys side for like our boys. He's like, I'd love to have, Jack have a female coach. He's like, I've been watching on Instagram or something, like on social media. I've been following this, this woman coach. She coaches like this boys club. And they're really successful and they're killing it. She did like a post about, like coaching the boys. I was like, this sounds like really familiar. I was like, I know someone like that. And, he's talking more and more and gassing it up. And I'm like, are you talking about Ariel? And, he was like, I don't know. So I pulled it up and he was like, oh yeah, like that's like, I was like, oh, like, yeah, like they do great. Like Beta Bay's a jam. Like she crushes it. And he was just like, he was super hyped, and I was like, I'm hyped up. I'm super hyped too. And anyway, so he says he's a huge fan. Keep doing what you're doing. So
Great.
next time if you have any influencer meetings, you can let them know that you're apparently doing really well with the middle-aged soccer dad demographic.
Kevin Tamura, the MVP.